right, kid?
No shots.
Nobody mentioned the guy with her.
Dumbass. You're so far over your head you can't even see the light.
Is that right? Someone did. Someone was chasing the girl, photographs. It's time to start talking.
I'm not the one who's gonna be talking. Живым, пожалуйста.
Да. Давай. You ready? You want to talk now? How about now?
I'm not your enemy.
Those photos. Who paid for them? Who?
They would kill me if I told.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
Полознев. Николай Полознев.
Where do I find him?
Try the internet. Мудак.
Swear to God, they made me do it, man.
Don't worry, Turk. You did exactly what I wanted you to.
Shit. I really don't ever want to see you again.
Well, feelings mutual.
Welcome to the Variant X channel. All power is being gathered between different heroes for the threat of Doomsday. Even though we still know about the event of Secret Wars in the future, many mysteries will still happen. Now I will bring the story in which the Vigilante serves as a great help in the fight against Doom. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. Doom's punishment night fell with a strange weight over the city of Chicago. There was no declared war nor consolidated peace. Since the multiversal disruption, when timelines began to collapse, the remaining heroes have operated with distrust, not just of each other, but of the time in which they lived. Nothing was certain. Not even who they were. Frank Castle knew this better than anyone. But this Frank was not the same man who had gone on a personal crusade against crime after the loss of his family. This variant emerged from an Earth devastated by Dr. Doom's incursion, or rather from one Dr. Doom. The Doom he faced was not just the tyrant of Latveria. He was something more. A multiversal demigod who had assimilated arcane knowledge, celestial technology, and the science of thousands of parallel worlds. And Frank had been one of the few survivors of that Earth, alongside a dying Reed Richards, who, before dying, gave him two gifts, a warning about the true threat and an experimental armor, derived from the designs of Tony Stark and James Rhodes. War Machine's armor had been adapted, fused with vibranium nanotechnology and Doctor Strange's own magical systems. Now, Castle wore the suit as an extension of his own damned soul. The metallic doorposts reflected the rain-soaked streets. The white skull symbol, reshaped with digital strokes and bluish energy, flickered amid the night steam. He had no allies. I didn't trust anyone until that night. An alert sounded on the helmet's eye interface. Magical and technological frequencies were converging from a single source. Doom was on the move again, this time in the heart of Latveria. Just not Latveria, as usual. This was a fusion of several Latverian domains from different realities. One castle glued to another, surrounded by armies of Doombot variants that every day replaced the fauna and flora with structures of obsidian and living steel. Castle flew like a night missile. Upon crossing the clouds, his system detected the presence of multiple superhuman signatures at the location. 3 known forms, a mutant, a symbiote, and someone with an unstable gravitational field. The new Avengers were already there, called to punishment Sam Wilson. The new Captain America flew over the outskirts of the conflict zone with his vibranium wings. At his side, the mutant Kate Bishop fired energized arrows with surgical precision. The third figure was a young man named Tobias Galen, an experiment from the refugees from nowhere who manipulated gravity with simple hand gestures. They were investigating reports of mass disappearances of entire populations in border towns. Not demons, not Kree, not Skrulls, said Sam, flying over a ghost town. It's something that consumes entire realities. That's a Doom thing. Or from one of the 1,000 Dooms that have arisen since the fall of the Illuminati, Kate replied, twirling another arrow between her fingers. It was then that they heard the metallic sound of the impact. A missile? No, something heavier. The Punisher. He fell between them, opening a crater in the molten steel floor. Castle? Sam's eyes widened. I thought you died, or became an AI in a parallel universe. I really died, said Frank, rising with difficulty. But hell didn't want me. Doom, on the other hand, wants it all. Tobias approached, hesitantly. Are you a variant? Frank looked at him with red armor eyes. I'm the last remnant of an Earth where Doom won. I'm here to stop him from doing it again. The Shadow Council, as the group reorganized, in the center of fragmented Latveria, The true enemy watched from a four-dimensional tower. This Doom wasn't just Victor Von Doom, was Supreme Doom, a fusion between several versions of the Tyrant. His eyes bore the glow of the foundation of knowledge, the source of all arcane knowledge, and his armor was made from the skin of his reality's Galactus. Beside him, shadows from the multiverse whispered, indistinct figures known as the Council of Shadows, mysterious entities that wanted to subjugate all variants of heroes and gather the power of each fragment of reality into a single existence consolidated under the will of Doom. "They are approaching," said a voice. "The Justice. Variant has arrived." Doom didn't move. He just replied, "So, punishment is among us. Perfect. Let the final judgment come." The quartet returns as Frank and the new Avengers prepared to invade Molten Latveria. On the other side of the multiverse, Susan Storm felt her brother's call. Johnny had disappeared months ago during a mission deep in the negative zone. Now, energetic. Signals similar to his powers have begun to well up from within anomalous Latveria. Reed Richards, resurrected as an AI stored in a time cube, appeared before her, projected in blue lines. Sue. Doom is seeking more than control. He wants to consolidate all versions of the Fantastic Four and absorb their powers. "Then let's bring them back," she replied, activating a communicator. "Call Ben. Let's get our family back." Infiltration. The group led by Frank, Sam, Kate, and Tobias stormed the outer gates of Molten Latveria. The Punisher's armor began to react with ambient energy. "We are being watched," Castle said. "There's a spell here. Something that connects with my pain. It knows I came." They entered a mirrored hall where each reflection showed a version of themselves dead. Not by accident, but by the hands of Doom himself. In the center, a hologram activated. It was a variant of Reed, with its head encased in a symbiotic serpent. "Don't. You understand yet? This is a time prison. You're here because Doom he left you come in." And then the doors closed. The prison of conscience. The prison walls began to pulse with a dark, almost living energy. Each of the heroes felt the pain of their alternate version dying. Kate fell to her knees as she saw a reflection of herself being consumed by an out-of-control symbiote. Tobias was in a cold sweat. The image of his older self being dissected by a variant of Kang seemed unbearable. But Frank didn't waver. He stared at his reflection coldly. It was a version of himself that had knelt before Doom, using the armor as an instrument of oppression. "You're afraid of losing," Castle said, voice metallic. "But I've already lost everything. None of this surprises me." The armor reacted to the strength of his mind. The gears turned, a multi-dimensional scattering field activated, and the spell was broken. The prison collapsed into light. "Follow me," said Frank. "The trial is yet to come." Fantastic Four, gathered in the abyss at the other end of Latveria, Ben Grimm and Susan Storm were passing through an unstable dimensional tunnel. Each step led to ruined versions of Latveria, where Doombots hunted variants of heroes to consume their genes. They found Johnny, or what was left of him, trapped. Inside a solar fusion generator, the Human Torch was on eternal flames. His body powered a temporal weapon designed to collapse divergent Earths. "He keeps me alive to feed the heart of punishment," said Johnny painfully. "But it's not just me. Reed is here too." From within the core, Reed Richards, alive, but torn between realities, reached out a ghostly arm. He wants to use Punisher as a catalyst. Castle is an anchor between worlds, a constant. Doom wants to force him to commit the final act. "What does he want Frank to do?" Sue asked. "Destroy the Nexus. The Nexus of the Multiverse. The Nexus of the Multiverse, a living structure located in the center of the new Latveria, was protected by legions of Doombots and distorted versions of corrupted heroes. Inside, Doom Supreme watched all events, like a conductor before a symphony of chaos. "They believe they have free will," he muttered. "But all of this has already happened, in thousands of realities, and in all of them, Frank Castle comes to me and decides, always decides." The Shadow Council manifested itself in the form of floating hoods. What if in this reality he doesn't Decide on chaos, whispered one of them. Doom just smiled. Then, this will be the last reality, the final reality, where the punishment will be complete. The last line with support from the Fantastic Four, the group reorganized. Sue and Ben got Johnny back. Reed, although unstable, managed to transfer his mind into a shell constructed by Castle from stolen pieces of the fallen Galactus's armor. Now, the team was complete. Frank Castle, in the center of the group, analyzed the situation. He had received a final message from Reed from his own Earth. When the time comes, he will try to convince you. Remember, Doom doesn't win with strength. He wins with reason. The group advanced through the final layers of the fortress. They were confronted by a Thor the Doom, a variant of the Thunder God controlled by Latverian runes, by a corrupted Captain Marvel symbiote, for a vision powered by souls. One by one, they defeated the Guardians. Castle was brutal. Nothing stopped the Punisher in battle armor. Every death he saw on the battlefield reignited his fury, but he knew the worst was yet to come. The Judgment. In the final chamber of the Nexus, Doom waited. Frank Castle, he said, rising from a throne made of folded realities. You arrived as you always do. You survive as you always do. But today, you decide. Frank raised his weapons. I'm here to finish you off. Doom held out his hand. Do you think destroying me is victory? No. The real choice is this. Destroy the Nexus. Save your version of Earth, dooming billions of others, or unite me. Bring order to the multiverse. Become my executioner. Together we can prevent wars, avoid tragedies. You would bring punishment to those who deserve it, in all the realities. Frank hesitated. Sam at his side said, Don't listen, Frank. He's a manipulator. Sue muttered, He's almost winning. And then Frank lowered his weapons. You're right, Doom. Everyone looked, shocked. You are right. Doom smiled. Then you choose... Frank activated the armor's final protocol, an explosion of light. I choose to punish you. The final punishment. The protocol destroyed not the Nexus, but the version of Doom that controlled him. Frank's armor, programmed by Reed to absorb the essence of the Latverian core, trapped Doom within a cycle of infinite simulations. Inside a multiversal crystal, Doom was confined, each simulation causing him to lose every time to Frank Castle. The Shadow Council has disappeared. The structure of Latveria began to collapse. Reed shouted, The core is unstable. Frank turned to the others. Leave. Now. Sam protested. And you? Frank didn't respond. He just returned to the center of the room, where one last command awaited him. A button with the words, Run. Local multiverse reboot. He squeezed. Anew, Earth the light came back. The world was rebuilt. New York. Sun, living people. Sam Wilson, now leader of the New Avengers, read the final report. Latverian Castle disappeared. No trace. But they found this. It was a white skull, an insignia burned into the ground where the castle had stood. Kate looked up at the sky. He really did it. Sue held Ben's hands. Doom has been punished. Tobias, now a recognized hero, wrote the last words of the Chronicle. In the reality where everything fragmented, one man survived the chaos. Not by being pure, but by being relentless. He was pain. He was fury. He was punishment. Frank Castle didn't save the world. He reset it. To be, continue. What did you think of today's story? Leave your opinion here in the comment, click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Until next time, bye.